are we here? Good morning. Brian from Tennessee, welcome. Nice to have you guys here. And Isova, good morning. Um, I had fun yesterday, Jenny Pfeiffer. Get your pen and pencils, you guys. I had so much fun yesterday, and I get a lot of requests for supplement, and that is a huge part of my life. Titan, welcome. Grace, welcome. North Carolina, this is fun. In all honesty, there's truth to that title this morning of my hidden supplement addiction. I really came to believe I was addicted this past year or so. Probably as I was sharing with you guys, I'm looking at all the stuff I have, and then it all kind of came to a head just recently. And I realized I take all these supplements and I still feel lousy. I don't feel my best. So my hope in sharing this video with you this morning, this live stream, is you get your pen and paper and take notes. And if you can, Liza, hello again, get your pen and paper. If you can just take away one thing, one or two things from today's live stream video, who knows how it can be like, a fork in the road for your turnaround in your health, meaning just to feel better. When I wasn't feeling my best, I would think, oh, it's just part of aging. But then I would look at my mom in her 80s, who, bless her heart, she's still excited to do stuff and has energy. And I would look at her and think, I am, 20 years younger, and by 11 or 12 noon, I'm ready for my day to be done. And, that's no fun. And my other inspiration for feeling good was, Angry Grandpa. I would look at him with all his smoking and all his terrible food he ate. And bless his heart, he is older than I am, and he just, you couldn't stop him for nothing. He was just like a ball of energy. And so I'd see these people, and I'd look at myself and say, there's something wrong. So before I even get to the supplements, I want to draw your attention, since the whole idea about this video is to feel better. I'm going to share with you my makeup for this morning, which is totally hazardous. You guys, we forget, and I don't even have a ton of stuff on. I have three simple items on my face, and my little root cover up. So when I come on camera, you can't see my grays. But do you guys already know the toxins I put in my body before I even said a word this morning? All right, that's terrible. So just make a little note on your paper to be mindful of what kind of makeup are we using and hair stuff, because it's all toxic. And L'Oreal got this from Amazon Prime. There's little Neutrogena highliner, Amazon Prime. Neutrogena is supposed to be dermatological tested, but you still have to check the ingredients. And here's a gloss lip Ipsy, real pretty lipstick gloss Ipsy, and my most favorite eyeliner. So, the stuff we spray right onto our scalp that gets seeped into our skin and our lips. The stuff we're putting on our lips, and then the eye mascara stuff. So I just want us to be mindful of what are we doing. What are we putting on? And the other thing, I'm addicted to bubble gum. That's probably, as I'm thinking about it, that's got to be toxic. That's got to be toxic. Like, what is gum guar, or what is some of these things in there? Oh, I doubt that I'll switch. I doubt that I'll stop chewing bazooka. Another one. Gary, welcome. Oh, I I didn't hear about that. Humboldt. I'm not a hockey person. I'm thinking of Humboldt County. I'm thinking of Northern California, but you say Saskatchewan, so that's Canada? Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Every time you hear of a group, kids' sports teams, or, the Las Vegas bus trip, all that stuff, and that really gets me. That's just sad. Sorry to hear that. Um, so, but on a good note, what I did do healthy this morning, I've switched my coffee to organic coffee, and my creamer to organic creamer. I've heard regular coffee has toxins and fungus. Cream, if it's not organic, it has the hormones that they shot into the cow. So for what it's worth, you can just make a little note. Oh, and see, I think a lot of the reason why I don't listen to too much news in the morning is to kind of keep my ASMR mindset, so that I can have a presentable video, a calm video. Two things I've noticed: if I drink too much coffee, or if I get wrapped up in the morning news, which is never good news, it comes out in my voice, or it comes out in my video, and it's just not as relaxing as I'd like for it to be. But especially for a Sunday morning, I really try to look forward to a nice, easygoing Sunday morning. Okay, so let's start. I'm in California. I don't think there's a single person in California. Crystal Brown, you made it. Thank you for joining, Miss Crystal. Nice to have you here. I want to talk about water in Southern California. I am realizing in Southern California, we're just different with food and water and health and stuff. And I'm just assuming that all you guys are drinking healthy water. I'm assuming that none of you are drinking water from the tap. But I realize that's not true. So write down on your notes your drinking water. We're currently using the Brita filter. We've got the filters from Amazon Prime, and you can check out, they have a pitcher you can pour at your sink. We have one in the bathroom. We used to go fill up Sparklets bottles ourselves, and it was cheap, like for $3 or $4 you could fill up a 5-gallon Sparklets thing. Oh, yeah, it scares me. So we thought we were doing good, and we have a functional medicine doctor. You can write that down in your notes if you can find functional medicine doctor. When she does blood tests, she would check for the toxins. And she said, "Well, what drinking water are you having?" I said, "Well, we go to the grocery store and we buy that drinking water in front of the grocery store." And she said, "Well, you can't do that, though it is a purified drinking water. The stuff that's in the soil somehow seeps into the drinking water." This whole thing, but when she said it, it made sense. This isn't perfect, but I feel a little bit better with this. You put this in the pitcher, put the water in, and it drizzles through and filters. There is one company she recommended. It has glass bottles. Starts with an A, not Arrowhead. It's something else. Very, very pricey. It may be just a California thing. But so start with your water. So the stress I have now is, yeah, here we are drinking this water, I feel better about the water, but every time I go to wash my dishes, or wash my hands, or do something, I'm realizing that, oh, this tap water has all the toxins in it. So I'm washing it and then I'm rinsing it, but I'm rinsing it with water that has toxins. So I can work myself up into such a frenzy. Uh, you know, thank goodness for behavior modification, because it really is a lifesaver for me. And every day it's like baby steps. I have to stop myself. So my thought is, we might, if it gets too upsetting for me, like switch to the whole house to some kind of a filtered water system that goes through the whole house. Now I get in the shower. Oh, there comes the toxic water coming. You guys, you won't believe how fast I get in and out of the shower, because that bothers me. Crystal, we have filters in our shower, but as soon as I go in for a kitchen sink, I remember I don't do the thing on the kitchen faucet anymore. It's too clumsy. But it's good for anything that comes out of it. It's not in your dishes or you're washing your hands. But so anyways, let's be mindful of that. It's funny. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to go in and have a nice hot shower," and for me, it's like I'm doing the 50-yard dash. Like I get everything ready, get the water going, and I have all I have my like my brush, my soap. I also strategically placed so I get in and out in the quickest amount of time, so all the toxins in the water aren't on me. That's crazy. Uh, just verbalizing out loud, it makes me laugh. And while we're talking about water, two things. Yesterday I misspoke. I wanted to clarify. The tea I drink, I have one package of tea. I do believe I said I was drinking Lipton organic tea. Someone asked yesterday, but it's Bigelow. These little tea bags. I got like a huge box from Amazon Prime, and it's not that I enjoy this green tea. I just down it. Outsiders, new name. Good morning. Oh, Charlie and Erica, the Outsiders. Okay. Someone, for those of you, that's Charlie and Erica. They were recently, their name was checking in together. Someone had a good idea not to use traveling, because if you stop traveling, which I can't imagine, any outing is a traveling, but the Outsiders, That's a good one if you really think of it, because you guys are definitely outside the box. Good one. Yes, but then I immediately thought of outside the box. You know how the thinking, you have to think outside the box. But that gets me in trouble because I think so far outside the box, I make myself crazy. Star, welcome. Um, Good name. I like it. So anyways, I misspoke. I take the Bigelow organic tea, not the Lipton. Polyphenol. I just down this. I don't drink this in the morning for like my magic tea moment. So write this down on your note. Phenols, and I totally forgot the importance of polyphenols. It's spelled POLYPHENOLS. So do your research. I just know it's good for me, so I down it, like heat up like a quarter of a cup, let this seep, and I just down it, and I feel better about getting in my polyphenols. The other thing, remember yesterday we talked about Gatorade. If you look, and they push Gatorade as the electrolyte. This will give you back your electrolyte. If you look at the first three ingredients, it's water, sugar, and fructose. Fructose is sugar. So I get this Amazon Prime. It's called Ultima Replenisher. This is a real electrolyte powder. It really addresses your electrolytes. All this stuff, just a ton of stuff. Potassium, chloride, there's probably magnesium, there's selenium, copper, zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin A, vitamin C. And just a little side note, and you know how you hear of these kids at football practice? Like these young kids are football players, boom. Welcome, Brad from Arkansas. We have a bunch of fun people from good states, Tennessee, North Carolina. We got Liza, Oklahoma, Arkansas. We got a good Midwest group. These young adults who are having these deaths, they'll just boom pass out. Our heart needs vitamins and minerals. So for what it's worth, do your research. Again, this is Ultima Replenisher electrolyte powder, and I put a scoop. It has a little scooper. I put it in like a water bottle, 16 or 20 ounce. Shake it, and then each through the day, as I'm drinking my cup of water, I add a little bit of this to that, and it just goes all day. So Tyler Swick, I'm shouting you out. Welcome. But I don't know or anything about you or your channel. And that's kind of why I'll talk about somebody like outsiders, Charlie and Erica. And Crystal Brown, you have a fun Facebook. And Jenny Pfeiffer, get going with your channel. Okay, so this is just the thing instead of Gatorade. Again, Amazon Prime. And I'm going to backtrack a little. For those of you wanting to slowly switch over to healthier food, slowly, don't do what I did because you'll feel terrible. You need to know that if something says organic, I learned this the hard way. Hidden, yeah, I know my blown out, I'm showing you. I call it hidden addiction because I didn't even know it myself. I was hiding it from myself. But you need to know that organic can be used like a word like natural. If a food item says natural ingredients, natural means nothing. Organic can mean nothing. Like you can buy something that's organic, chips, for example. Thank you, Tyler. So you could have organic chips or something that's organic, meaning the chips are organic using flour and wheat that's organic, but perhaps they have toxic chemicals in the salts or sugars they add to give it the taste. You have to just like buyer beware. So we'll talk about eggs. If something comes from an animal, we use eggs, it needs to also say pasture raised. So write this down in your notes. Oh, I'm not sure, but I do know to be careful for us not to just grab something because it says organic. But if it's something that comes from an animal, like beef, from a cow, stuff from a cow, from chicken, so all the dairy, yes, you want organic, you want all that stuff, but you have to be sure that it's pasture raised. Because what some people do is they pick up a thing of organic eggs. We use that example. But then when you do the research, like the cows are fed junk, so somehow they've done something to make it fit into the organic category. But to be safe, you want your eggs to be from chickens that are pasture raised, meaning the food they're eating is organic or healthy. There's nothing poison in the food. It's like the whole circle of life. You are what you eat, and these chickens, if they're eating bad stuff, it's going to be in the egg. So I don't know how they get around all this stuff, but it's not easy for us as consumers. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Yes. So I hope you guys have your pen and paper and make little notes. Because it can be overwhelming. Like, look at me. Like, I've done so much research. I have forgot, just like, remember I said, I'm drinking my green tea. I know I'm drinking it for the polyphenols, and I forgot what the polyphenols are for. That's how much research I do, that some of the fine points I have to let go. I know that when I researched it, I understood it, and it was like I'm adamant that I went that route. But we just do so much research that there's no way my brain can contain all the fine points without me having a little anxiety attack. So, okay, and this is just a small sample. This is the stuff that's like my morning go-to routine. This isn't even the stuff in my cupboards and drawers, so that's why I called this part one. Yesterday, I could really relate. Somebody said they needed energy. Erica, I think it was you. I'm not sure. And that would be my problem. Like, I'd take all my supplements, I'd drink all my coffee, and I would be exhausted. I'd think, well, I have my rice, I have my pasta. So, if you need energy, you need carbs for energy. Free range. Yes, Cheryl, you got that right, girlfriend. Free range, by the way, I heard can mean that the chickens can be cooped up in a barn, but as long as they have this little door to go in and out, they can still call it free range. But, I don't know what to believe, but nice to have you here, Cheryl. So what happens is when you eat the white rice or the white potato or the white pasta, that's like a high glycemic And you can write that down and research that. Now, when I see high glycemic, what that says to me is, boom, that carb turns into a sugar, like, boom, you're going to get a good fix, but boom, you're going to fall back down and have like a crash. So the reason now my go-to carb foods are sweet potatoes, organic, this had an organic sticker, it's gone, and garbanzo beans. These are non-organic. I'm going to have to eventually switch. These are low glycemic, meaning they don't like boom, like give you a high rush. They keep you at an even keel for a while, which is better for your system. You don't get like crashing down and feel terrible. And also, the other good thing about sweet potato and garbanzo beans is phytonutrient-rich foods. That's 3 words. I got on this kick about a month ago, and my goodness, a lot of aches and pains started dissipating. It was like a missing piece of the link that just helped make my body feel good. 3 words, phytonutrient-rich. 4 words, phytonutrient-rich food. Phyto, P-H-Y-T-O. Nutrient, N-U-T-R-I-E-N-T. 3rd word, rich, R-I-C-H, foods. These are both phytonutrient-rich foods, which means it contains phytonutrients. And again, I've done so much research, I've overdone my brain. But these phytonutrient-rich foods, for me, it's like a like the catalyst, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's like a Kickstarter. It does something that betters my body in a way that supplements don't. And now I'm able to take a moment, and that if I have a joint pain in my knee, I look at my diet and say, oh my goodness, I didn't have my green spinach. Of course, all organic if possible. I didn't eat my colorful fruits and veggies today. So real quick, I'll try to shovel down those bright leafy greens. And you can research which foods are the phytonutrient-rich foods. But in a nutshell, it's the bright colored fruits and veggies and your rich leafy greens, spinach, kale, excuse me, chard. I even found a fun purple, like a lettuce, radicchio. I threw that in there. Bell peppers, the green, red, and yellow bell peppers. So that's something you can research and possibly add to your diet. Okay, so here, again, remember, this is just part 1. This is the quickie stuff I have on my counter each morning. This ellagic acid I bought a couple months ago. Awesome supplement. Got it from Amazon Prime. I will not be buying this again because this ellagic acid you can find in your berries, like your raspberries. Do your research, but it's good for your joints. But since now every day I'm sure to add raspberries and blueberries, blackberries to my diet, I'm getting this ellagic acid through actual food, so I won't need this. But I used to make like this little cocktail in the morning, and this was in it. Interesting, I've never heard of the ginger chews for nausea. Excuse me. And I feeling a little nauseated as I'm trying to detox, trying to switch over to organic food. And what I find is if I just down something unhealthy, like, the Gatorade I told you about, it seems like if I down something unhealthy, because that's why I'm feeling nauseated, because my body is going through the withdrawal of the unhealthy food. So when I'm feeling nauseated, my tummy, download Gatorade, and the bad sugar seems to replace the nausea, but of course it's not good. Neither is good. So you have to figure out, you know, and everything in moderation. If I could just learn that simple little thing, everything in moderation, I'd have it made. Okay, beetroot. My biggest complaint when I say, like I'm not feeling good is energy, energy, energy. So I started doing my research on the oxygen in our blood. Remember back in the day, Lawrence Welk used to do a commercial for Geritol, and the catchphrase was, "Do you have tired blood?" And really all it was like an iron supplement. But I remember that commercial. We used to always watch Lawrence Welk, and for some reason, that phrase tired blood," has haunted me my whole life. And when I don't feel good and exhausted, I think, oh, do I have tired blood? Do I have tired blood? And if you notice, Geritol, they took that commercial off there, and I don't think you can find Geritol because it was kind of just like a fake thing. It was just iron supplement. But so in an effort to feel better, meaning not so sluggish, I did research on the beetroot. And you can buy, like, for $40 these huge things of beetroot powder and make your protein smoothie. So I opted instead to get the beetroot in a supplement. I got this from Amazon Prime. So we take this like 3 times a day. So it's a little beetroot powder in a supplement. But however it works, it's supposed to bring oxygen to your blood. I'm probably saying it incorrectly. Do your research. But that's the idea behind it. And it's a beetroot powder. And this is a green liquid. It's liquid chlorophyll. And I squirt this into my morning little drink cocktail. Again, I'm looking for the same result, to have more oxygen in my blood, so I have more energy and I feel better. So you see all these things I take. I should be like Wonder Woman. I should be, excuse me, like doing it all, and I'm not. So I'm to this point now to believe that once I get the gunk out of my system, which are the toxics. Miranda, Arkansas, hello, welcome. 2 Arkansas folks, welcome. I kind of have a hunch that yes, these things are trying to work, but because I've got so many years of built up toxins, these things are trying to work, but they can't. The toxins are just zoonosis. And when I say many years, I'm thinking since high school, so that's like almost 40 years. That's 40 years of toxic food and drink. So I think it has caught up with me. So, okay, there we are again, bigger than beans. You guys knew I was going to talk about the essential enzymes, digestive enzymes. You guys knew it was coming. This, I'm really overdosing on this. They say to take one before each meal. This helps you digest your food. If number one, if you've had your gallbladder removed, do your research. You do need this because gallbladder, you're having a hard time digesting food by yourself. This digests the fats, the proteins, the sugars, and the carbs. The functional medicine doctor said, "Oh, your husband needs these. He doesn't have a gallbladder," and I didn't know, so I started giving it to him. And then I just realized, like, every time I would eat, I'd feel awful, and I'd think, where are the days when I could have like a sub sandwich and an ice cold beer and just have a fun time and get up and go do my thing. I got to where I was just like frustrating. Like if I had to go to an event, I had to get somewhere, I had to remember, oh, I can't eat, because I'll be so sluggish and nauseated. Never thought that I needed these because I have my gallbladder. So again, in a nutshell, this is for our systems. They just get sluggish as we age. I take about 10 of these a day. You guys, I do not recommend that. This thing makes me feel like $1,000,000. I don't know how it does it, but you know how some people would pop a caffeine pill or they drink a hard coffee? I pop 2 of these enzymes. Boom. I feel wonderful. So I'm guessing it's really digesting everything and it's taking those vitamins and minerals. And my body is desperately grabbing onto them. And yay, I'm feeling better, because I think what's happening with all this is it's going in, but because my body's so full of toxic waste, these can't work properly. So do your research on essential enzymes. Do not overdose like I am. But I'm realizing slowly, as I'm trying to detox, I'm not needing as much of these, but detoxing is difficult. I'm going to get these at Amazon Prime, and remember to do your research. And mention this to somebody if you know they're missing a gallbladder, or you know they don't feel good after they eat. Maybe suggest this to them so they can feel better too. And here's another digestive enzyme, and bromelain, another digestive enzyme. So I'll give you the information here. We get these from Amazon Prime, bromelain, and you can stop the video if you want to copy it down, Dr. Tobias. This one digests 18 things. I got 18 things. This thing I think is like good for gluten. I think I got it for gluten digester. But now here's the mystery. I use these as digestive enzymes. They don't give me the energy or the punch, nothing like that other digestive enzyme. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why. Other than that essential daily enzyme really takes those vitamins and minerals and deposits it in your body so your body can use it immediately, because that's how good I feel. Anyways, I don't take this as much. And always read your labels, because some things need to be refrigerated, and those enzymes definitely I keep refrigerated. And vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. This is a powdered vitamin C, 5,000 milligrams. Rumor has it you cannot overdose on vitamin C. But the reason I overdose on vitamin C is one day, hello there, so welcome. We were in the doctor's office and she's kind of sharing GMO and everything, and I'm having a mild anxiety attack, thinking, what can we put in our mouth? Everything's poison. I was overload for my brain. And she says, that's never going to happen. You're never going to have one day in your life where you're going to have a non-toxic day. You have to know every day is going to be toxic for you. And she just kept saying, vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, all I can say is that if you start off and you keep your body filled with vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C, that's a huge help to ward off and kind of clean your system of toxins. Oh, Black Hoodie, you guys, if you love food, Black Hoodie, are you up to 17,000 now? You are just getting subscribers like crazy. If you guys love food stuff with ASMR, occasionally he has his girlfriend with him. That's a fun channel. Sometimes I can't watch you though, Black Hoodie, because it's too intense. It's that good, but and of course I enjoy it when you combine it with story time. What is it about food and story time? Or like an event and a story time. And I love it when Charlie Jr. does something with a story. I just love stories. Yeah. but, anyways, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. So, vitamin C. Sometimes people can't handle vitamin C because it has some kind of acidic acid form. This is a powdered form with calcium in it, and there's something about the calcium that kind of doesn't irritate your tummy as much. So, I'm just going to mention that when you're frazzled, you want to start kind of doing something good for your body. I'll tell you, like what my doctor said, vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. And if you can, I know a lot of us, just can't afford the best of everything. I just want you to be careful if you shop and you buy your supplements from CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, all of those places. Yes, you are getting the vitamin that it says, but you need to be careful for the added ingredients known as fillers. Apparently, some of the fillers are fancy scientific word for sand or sawdust. I don't know exactly. I used to get all my supplements from Target and Kmart. So do your research and at least be aware of what are those added ingredients that you're taking with your vitamin. I don't know about our Food and Drug Administration, the stuff they allow us to take, other countries won't allow. So I think I could do a whole nother video on the Food and Drug Administration, possible conspiracy, but let's not go there now because, like I say, sometimes I think I have so many conspiracy theories, I scare my own self. And vitamin C, I have that every morning in my little drink. And there's another thing I added to my morning drink. protein powder. This is branched chain amino acid. I would go to the gym. Oh my goodness, I was just your amino acid gal. I understood the amino acid and the branched chain. And again, because I was feeling sluggish, lacking energy, I'm looking for all these supplements that I should be taking that I need more energy. And what do? I think I need more branched chain amino acid. So I add this to my protein powder drink, which already has branched chain amino acids. That's what BCA is for. We get this off of Amazon Prime. But now here I'm on the flip side. I'm taking all these supplements that I don't think are working properly because I've got all this food and drink toxin that I've been ingesting for 20 some years, and it's kind of like stuck in my blood, stuck in my body, and it's kind of preventing all these supplements from working at their best. So bad. Oh, good. 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 Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And what's this other one? Choline. I think this is choline. Yes. This is part of the B vitamin supplements. Your vitamin Bs and your vitamin Cs are really kind of daily vital vitamins. Vitamin Bs are for your nerves and your brain. So write down on your paper to research the importance of the B vitamins. There's a ton of, I think 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 B vitamins. Choline is kind of a newer one that I started taking for brain health. So do your research, choline, and figure out what that is. I researched it one time, and sometimes the letter will be L, sometimes it's DL, and I think it had to do with synthetic and non-synthetic. I totally forgot, but I want to mention it so you can research it. This is, take this daily for a healthy brain. The other thing I don't have here, but I'll mention, it's inositol. It's like another healthy brain item, but we'll probably talk more about that in another video, because remember, this is just part one. And if our B's vitamins get too low, that's how we kind of slip into depression. We kind of lose the serotonin. We lose all those things in our brain that keep us normal. And so again, do your research. So, and you guys know I'm big on probiotics. We take probiotics twice a day, and the reason for probiotics, our whole life, if you're everyday, your average American, since you were born, you've been taking antibiotics. So when you have a lifetime of antibiotics to kill disease and virus and all the stuff, that's wonderful. But what they don't tell you is it also kills the good bacteria, the good germs. Do you guys know I took tetracycline for acne? Like, I don't know how many years. When I think back, like, it's a miracle I ever felt good. When I think of all the stuff I took that we didn't know any better, we just didn't know. Like, it's a miracle I felt as good for as much of my life as I did when I think of all the stuff I ate and drank, and then tetracycline, like my whole life. Gosh, from junior high up into my 20s, I think. So, probiotics replenish your intestines. And mark this in your note that our health is in our intestines. I still don't know how it works, but if our intestines are lacking healthy bacteria, because our whole life we've had antibiotics killing the bad stuff, but it also kills the good stuff. If our intestines don't have good bacteria, we're going to have terrible health. I don't know how it works, but it works. So do your research on the importance of a healthy intestine, healthy gut, probiotics versus antibiotics. So just remember that the antibiotics that we've taken have gotten rid of the killer diseases and viruses, and you need to take them. You have to take them. I know that. But we have to replenish. Doctors don't tell you this. You'll never have a doctor give you like a prescription for a probiotic. That won't happen. But this is what we're using now. There is a better one I will address in another, but for beginners, this is a good start. And this one is convenient because you can take it with food. And it doesn't have to be refrigerated, which is nice. So, and remember, like when you use, here on a little side note, mark this down on your paper, mouthwash. They said kill bad breath, kill the bacteria. Bottom line is it's also killing the good bacteria. So I kind of thrown all the mouthwash out. But the dentists and the commercials don't tell you that. And it's a little depressing. You definitely have to be your own advocate for a healthy life. It's terrible. And this is another form. I call it a form of probiotic, but this is a yeast. This is a nutritional yeast type of a probiotic. That is a crazy name. We get this from Amazon Prime. You can pause the video and copy that. It has 2 things in it. But all I remember is I was at Whole Foods, and the guy, I was looking for something. He said, "Oh, this is wonderful because we don't get enough of this yeast." He said the word yeast, and I said, "Yeast? Isn't that like fungus?" But apparently there is a nutritional yeast type thing. So do your research on this. And again, this is convenient. You can take it with or without food. It's just healthy for your gut and your intestines. Remember, healthy gut, healthy intestines, gives you a healthier life. And then, the thing I haven't even told you yet was like a new thing in my brain that I haven't done it yet. Sometimes I just get exhausted with so many things that I want to research are these organic? Is all this stuff after I've done all my research, I've done all my stuff, I've paid a pretty penny for every single little thing. Am I going to find out that when I research each individual jar by itself, that nowhere on it does it say non-GMO, or nowhere on it does it say organic, meaning it could be every bit of a good supplement. Let's just grab this. It could be every bit of an awesome supplement, but could there be the chance that because it doesn't say organic and it doesn't say non-GMO, am I getting toxins without even knowing it, thinking I've got all the right moves, I'm doing all the right things, but still not right enough, if that makes sense. So write that down in your notes. If if you can, take a look at that jar. Does it say non-GMO? Does it say organic? And if it doesn't, does that mean that the vitamin C I'm getting, that the oranges were sprayed with Monsanto? I don't know. I have to do research on that too. And like I said, it's something that has just come up as I'm focusing on organic and non-organic. And then probably the last 3 items here that I keep these refrigerated. As you remember, a while back, these are proteolytic. Is this a proteolytic enzyme? Something along the lines of a proteolytic enzyme. If it's proteolytic, it's stressful for me because you have to take it on an empty stomach. But let me tell you the story first. Oh, Paul, you made it. And thinking you mentioned something is secret. Must cost a pretty penny indeed. And Opal, I've already said, this isn't even the stuff in my cupboards and drawers. This is just the stuff on my counter. This is the quickie stuff in the morning that I make my morning cocktail stuff. I was feeling so lousy maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I was sure I had some kind of gluten problem. Now it is true. If you have a gluten intolerance, you're going to know it. They have a test specific for that. But I was feeling so sluggish and terrible that I convinced myself I don't have a gluten intolerance, but I have some kind of gluten issue on the side. So you can pause the video and you can copy down the names of these 2 proteolytic enzymes. In a nutshell, they attack the fibrin. Somehow gluten gives you a buildup of fibrin. I can't explain it. I can see it. But it's like a glue type web that it leaves in your bloodstream. Nattokinase. Sure, that's why you just have to pause it and copy it down. And serrapeptase. I started overdosing on this because, again, not feeling well. Researching. Why do I feel so sluggish? Not feeling well meaning no energy. No orange juice, Brad. No, the base of my cocktail is this, the electrolyte thing. Orange juice is like a high sugar rush. If you down like 4 or 8 ounces of orange juice, you're like sugar. And you're going to go, whew, and you're going to drop down. So definitely not orange juice. So again, when I say not feeling well, when I'm doing a video and you hear me say, oh, I'm not feeling well, it's lack of energy and sluggish. And that's just not fun at all. Oh, I did some research. I was convinced I have a gluten problem. So, again, my blood is sluggish. I don't think it's just a gluten problem, although I do want to be careful of gluten because when you research gluten, it is like a glue that goes into your bloodstream, makes it like stagnated. So anyways, there's that. And then a third product I got that I think I was upset because it was, you couldn't just get it. See, it's Heal and Soothe. You couldn't just get it for one thing. You had to get it, and then you had to put your charge card on file. And then I was mad because I forgot about it, and 3 months later I get charged like the full price. The first price you got for like $30, you got this plus a free bottle. That was good. But then 3 months later, I got charged like $60. Um, it's upsetting. But this was another group of things to attack the fibrin. See here how in the picture they talk about, see that? And this got my attention because I would have achy joints, like especially my knees, achy joints. And the more I read, it made sense that, oh my gosh, I eat so many things with gluten. Gluten is causing fibrin to build up in my blood. My blood is stagnated, and if you can't get blood and oxygen to the joints, you're going to be in pain. Oh my gosh, it was a whole cycle of frenzy, and so I had to get it. So, tell you all that just to say this, that you may not have a gluten intolerance to where you're deathly ill, but just research gluten and what gluten does to your body. And I just understand it to be a glue-type substance that gets your blood sluggish. So anyway, there's that. And I think I've showed you everything. Oh, Sprouts. Do you guys have a Sprouts? I'm doing a lot of shopping at Sprouts lately. Sprouts, it's like a farmer's market. It's really kind of nice. Supposedly they're going to all different states. Scratching. I don't think I do scratching. I think I do tapping. I think my thing is tapping because it reminds me of horses galloping. I love tapping and crinkling, but I'll have to add that to the list about scratching. Another place, if you have a Whole Foods health food store, that's a good place for shopping, healthy shopping. Trader Joe's for their food, although I do not buy my supplements with Trader Joe's. Just my own personal opinion. There's something about their supplements that I don't feel safe about, but very different. But I do love Trader Joe's food. They have good, healthy food. I always read your labels. And Lassen's is a health food store, but I'm not sure if everybody has a Lassen's. I kind of think it's like a like California, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Washington. I think it's in Texas, like that. And good news is you can start getting organic food items. Vaughn's is carrying a ton of organic and grass-fed food items. Albertsons, Ralph's, which is the same as Kroger. So if you're interested in it, make a note of it on your notes that you can go to an actual regular store, because they're realizing a ton of us now are preferring organic. They have a lot of things. You just have to take the time and notice that it's there. Fascinating. Opal. If you're in fairly good health, you won't notice a thing. And if you're in awful, 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 awful health, you won't notice a thing because it'll take forever to work. So it all depends on your age. Usually young people won't notice anything because they're not that unhealthy. But so mark your notes that a lot of regular stores are going organic. You know who, I mentioned this the other day, I think, Walmart. We have 2 Walmarts here in California. We have, of course, the super big, giant Walmart. But we have almost in every single town, as they call it, it's the Walmart neighborhood grocery store. It's strictly groceries. It's a grocery store and pharmacy, and that's it. And it's it's just like a regular grocery store with like baked goods, deli goods. I think that at the formal name is Walmart Neighborhood, and it's strictly groceries. They have really upped their game. And when I told my daughter about it, she said, well, what section of the store is it in? And I said, they don't just have like a little corner dedicated to organic food and drink. It's in the whole store now. And the fruits and veggies, dairy, the meats. Just if you're a Walmart person, I do not think the super jumbo Walmarts have as much organic in their grocery section. I don't think so. So you might have to actually go to the Walmart neighborhood grocery store. You more than likely will not find organic or a good healthy food item in the frozen section, and a lot of times prepackaged items. You might not be able to find like organic chips. But for fruits and veggies and dairy, cheese and eggs and milk and stuff, and meat, they get like a A++ for effort on that. So, well, you guys, this has been fun. I have gone over my 1 hour video time on it. I try to set myself, I like doing live streams for like an hour. Maybe we can do 75 minutes. 67, 7, so that's 8 more minutes. I can do 8 more minutes. I see how easy I can do a rambling video. Like, did I ever come up for air once? Anyways, scratching. I wonder why I don't do scratching. I must not enjoy scratching. That's probably why I don't do scratching. And a reminder, like when you do see ASMR people, they have a tendency to do the same thing or do certain things. You have to remember that they have to stay doing what they like, because once we get in the mode of doing too many requests, we lose the joy of the passion. In fact, they have and I haven't looked at it yet because it hasn't, I don't think it has anything to do with me yet. And every time when I open my YouTube channel on my homepage, YouTube is they offer help for YouTube creators. They have this one video called Burnout, and it's a picture of this frazzled lady, YouTube lady. And the title of the video is Burnout, and you can tell in her eyes and her face and her hair she is frazzled and burned out. It doesn't really pertain to me. I just learned early on, and I can't remember how I figured it out, if someone put it in a comment. Right. But it was to stay what you're passionate about, and that really is what will keep us from burnout. So again, gambler, if I don't do scratching, it has nothing to do with anything other than I must not enjoy it. Gambler, that's a whole nother video we can talk about. I think I'm a closet gambling addict, or I could be. I love Awesome Gambler. I'm guessing, I don't know if you have a YouTube channel, but that's a cool name. I wonder if you've won a lot of money, like gambling, or if you do online gambling. And Kentucky Derby's coming up. If you don't think I am just salivating to get on to bet the ponies, I love betting horses online. Oh my goodness, and that's terrible. And there's one gambling site you can bet nickels, dimes, and quarters. That's what got me hooked, because you can feel like you're still having fun betting, but you're not having to you lose a ton of money. So I just mentioned that because I look at my supplements, I get addicted to that. I wonder if I have like addictive kind of a personality or what is it? OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I, I always think about that because I love betting the Kentucky Derby. I don't hear a video about your gambling. I love horse racing as well. Yes, an awesome gambler. You have to tell us, do you have a YouTube channel? And why did you get that name? I'm guessing you're one of the poker people, either from TV or from you haul off to Vegas every weekend and come back with a wad of cash. I'll tell you, sir. Yeah, well, my gambling started. This is terrible. I'll just give you a little teaser of all things bingo at church. Now, how terrible is that? On two notes, addicted to bingo gambling. If it was just your every once in a while bingo card, that's not the problem. I was buying the mega packs. So, and then at church, we grew up Catholic our whole life. We're just Catholic. We're not Catholic anymore, but I still have Catholic Catholic tendencies in my veins. And can you believe, bigger than beans, my Catholic childhood friend since third grade tells me this one day about she couldn't do something because her and her mom were going to bingo. And I got excited. I said, oh, my mom loves bingo. Because my grandma and her grew up playing bingo. I don't know where. So I thought they just had this little bingo thing. When she says at the Catholic church, and I said, what? She says, yeah, they turned the whole thing into the bingo parlor. So, silly me, I'm thinking that everybody goes into the actual church. And if you're familiar with like the way they build Catholic churches, they're just huge. So in my mind, when she says, yeah, they have it at Saint such and such a church, I'm picturing all these people in church with doing bingo on the benches, and that the bingo ball is like on the altar at the front. And I'm going, are you kidding me? That's how much I did not know. Well, she tells me the whole thing. I go, oh, that might be fun. And my mom ended up not wanting to go because she said, my mother dragged me to so many bingo tournaments. I'm sick of bingo. So I guess I thought she had a fun childhood memory, but it wasn't. It was too much bingo. We go to our first bingo at the Catholic Church. I'm telling you, it was terrible. I would always buy in. I can remember spending like 65, 75. Every time I went, sometimes I'd go twice a week. And then I got the bingo. What was it called? The Bingo Bazaar. It was like the little bingo newspaper, and it would tell you where they were having bingo on what night of the week. Here I was going to give you a teaser, and I'm just like telling you the whole story. I can't help myself. It's like when I think of it, I can't believe it myself. I had it to where I knew where the big bingo game was each night. And I wouldn't just go. You just don't go and buy like one little card. You buy a buy-in pack. I should show you my bingo bag. I have to have my bingo bag. I have a couple daubers. I have these little cards I made, these Elvis things I made, that when your card was full, you would just put your card, you'd put your thing over the whole card so you know not to look on that card because it's full. Oh my gosh. I had every kind of candy, Cracker Jacks, bubble gum, to eat, sunflower seeds. I had every little bit of snacking food in that bag. so you could sit there and eat your snacks and your chips. I did buy the Diet Coke there. Oh my goodness. And that was back in the day when you could smoke inside. And I think my what became my downfall is I couldn't handle the smoke. So that curtailed my bingo gambling. It wasn't that I just said, Angela, you have a problem. You need to just tone it down a notch. Take her down a notch. Remember, King of Queens, Carrie wore too much makeup, and Doug and her were helping each other better themselves. Carrie told Doug he needed to lose some weight. Not a problem. So Doug decided to mention to her she wears too much makeup, and his verbiage for her to not to wear so much makeup was, he said, you know, you put on a little bit too much makeup, perhaps you can take her down a notch. I love that little thing, take her down a notch. And she says, what do you mean? And he says, well, you know how some people will dress up like they're going to the opera? He says, well, Carrie, you dress up with your makeup like you're in the opera. So a lot of times that's why I don't wear too much makeup. You see the little things I wear. I think I always have that in the back of my head. Like I don't want to put so much makeup on. I look like I'm in the opera. But anyways, so that's my bingo addiction. I've tried a week of online bingo, but I never have done online bingo. I do online horse betting, horse racing. I do the TVG, twin. Oh no, that's TVG. That's the fun website where I think you can bet like 5 cents, 10 cents a quarter. TVG. That's my favorite. The other one is the Twin Spires. That's the first one I got hooked on, was the Twin Spires. But over the years, I've come to enjoy TVG better. And also, TVG has a horse racing channel on TV. So there was a time I was doing the betting online with TVG. I was watching the TV channel. So Derby coming up on May 5th. So that Wednesday before the Derby, when they post the results for the horses, who's in the horse and where they posted, my addiction will kick back up at Wednesday and Thursday before, and I'll start getting excited, place my bet. Anyway, you guys, thank you. I've had fun this morning. Hope you did too. And a reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. And if you enjoyed this video, to push the like button and share this with a friend. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.